Hello, Bobby Torres of Frightbox Recording here, and I'd like to welcome Mr. Amner Hunter to the channel. Welcome.
Hello, Bobby. Thanks for having me on your channel, bro, and greetings to everyone. Happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. For anyone who's watching, Amner has a great YouTube channel where he talks about all things metal production and more specifically how to make the most out of free tools like free amp sims and just free plugins in general within your DAW. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump right into it. Amner, the question is, how did you get into this crazy world of audio production and metal production?
It was similar to your path, Bobby, when we talked about your history on this journey. I was playing guitar since high school, since middle school, 12, 13 years old. I think that's a natural path for a lot of musicians, right? Mm-hmm. We start to play guitar or to play drums or bass or something in the teenage years. We love bands. We love and in those years, I remember like being very curious about how those sounds happen, how they got that guitar sound or something. And in those days, it was very difficult to find any information.
Yeah.
YouTube didn't existed back then, so it was very. It was a thing that I was also following a lot, the sound of bands and also improving on my instrument and all that. And then it's like a natural path where you want to record yourself. Then you are composing songs, but then you want to record yourself. You want to create songs. You want to create drums, bass, guitar, and vocals and all that. So that's how I started. Being a musician, and a natural consequence was wanted to record myself, then purchasing some gear, finally, and learning on the internet, on YouTube, how to record yourself, how to record guitars, having access to all of amazing free tools that are available. I started this recording thing back in 2012, 2013, around there. So that's like my transition for this path. And then it was like, okay, now I can record some bands with the little knowledge that I had back then. Oh, well, it's not that much, but I can maybe record some bands locally. Mm-hmm. And then, I enjoyed this. Maybe I can do some videos for YouTube showing others how to do that stuff that I have learned with my experience. It's not so much, but maybe I can help someone with this. That's how I came to this.
So question for you. So before you got into recording yourself, like on your own within your own home studio, did you record with other engineers first with like your old bands when you were younger?
Yeah. I recorded. I had a punk rock band back in 2002, 2003. And I remember we went to a local studio, and it was actually a city from the United States. I live in Mexico, by the way, in the country of Mexico, nearby the border with the United States. So I was living in a city where we are just very close to the border. So we went to a studio across the border, and we recorded some songs. And I was intrigued I was seeing the process and all that. And I was intrigued by that. I would like to one day do this myself. And then a couple of years after that, we recorded another album, but it was in a more professional studio. We paid more for that, but the quality was garbage. super
Dude.
Yeah. The engineer didn't know about rock and metal. So that's we all gone through that.
I've been there.
Yeah. And we were just I guess impressed by the gear that they had, the amazing the rooms, the studio and all that, but the engineer didn't know anything about recording rock and metal.
Yeah.
So I think that's the gear doesn't matter, the knowledge. Back then, when we recorded the first demo, That wasn't a huge studio. It was like a home studio, but the recording was super well recorded because he knew about that. So I
Yeah.
think that's the like the point, right?
Oh
It
yeah.
all comes to that, Bobby. With gear, it doesn't matter that much.
I agree.
Like
I agree.
as people see it, right? As
Hmm.
people see it, as people think about gear, it's not that
Yeah.
much. Like your knowledge is more important.
1,000%, man. Actually, to this day, a lot of local bands still fall for that same trap where they'll hear of a bigger studio in their area, if there is even any left at this point, because big studios are kind of becoming less and less common. But I'll run
Yeah,
into local bands and younger bands that have spent thousands of dollars out of these big studios, and they end up with a product they're not happy with because either the engineer wasn't a metal engineer or hard rock engineer, or the studio may have a great reputation, but they were working with like the intern or something like that, which is fine.
exactly.
But like you said, the space and the gear has next to nothing to do with it. It all comes down to the talent of the individual who's your producer, you know? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter if it's a local, if it's a home studio or a fully professional multi-million dollar facility, it's the same deal. So,
exactly. Remember back in the day, Bobby, when we didn't have information, we
oh
didn't
yeah,
have access to any of this that we have these days. And I think we live in a super important times these
100%.
days.
We're lucky.
The quality, yeah, we are lucky. We're lucky because we can produce music out of our bedrooms and high quality stuff actually, and
Yeah,
a lot of high quality tools that we have at our disposal. A lot of free tools,
yeah,
actually a lot of free information, a lot of mentors like yourself that give away tons and tons of valuable
yeah,
things to people based on the experience that you have, for instance. So
definitely.
yeah, I think we live in amazing times.
Now, on that topic, are you self-taught or did you go to school for audio?
I am self-taught,
Wow. Wow. So all of
Bobby.
that
Yeah,
skill that you have right now, you taught yourself just simply by teaching yourself, like from online, like
yeah,
watching stuff on
yeah,
YouTube?
man. Yeah.
Wow.
I studied at university administration. Nothing to do with music or anything.
Yeah.
That's my degree in administration at university. Music has been my life besides the like a day job or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's something that I have been doing since my 12 years old, 13 years old. Guitar and music has been my life. So the passion that you like, it it, it doesn't seem something hard to learn because it's your passion, right?
Exactly.
You pursue it with so much passion that
Hmm.
you daydream about it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
always talk about it with your friends, with your girlfriend,
It's an addiction
and
almost.
it's an addiction. It
Yeah.
can be dangerous, right?
Yes.
You have to like create a balance
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
but it's like that passion that to get better at this, to be wanted to record myself, to maybe make a living out of this as well, because here in Mexico it's not very easy for rock metal bands to make a living.
Is that true?
And
There's not a lot of metal where you're from or metal bands?
yes, there's a local scene in rock metal here in the area, and in almost every state of the country. There's, but very underground, right?
Okay.
The the music that thrives here, it's of course Mexican music,
Hmm.
and it's difficult to create a like a huge audience and here in the scene,
Yeah.
and that's why internet is very important these
Yes.
days also.
Yes.
Yeah, to reach to other people from other parts of the world.
Yeah.
And also internet has shown us what is going on in other countries. We have influence, of course, from other countries like the States, for instance.
Yeah.
I knew all of my influences come from um, television back then, but also internet. When I started to see all of this knowledge and all of this music that comes from outside,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, hopefully to create something here also and locally.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing, man. It's like, I talk to people all the time that do mix work, and they sometimes just do it completely remotely and don't work with bands in person at all. So, on that topic, most of your work, is it recording or is it strictly just mixing?
I was recording at first
Hmm.
when I started my home studio. I was recording. I didn't know a lot about maybe discipline and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was struggling a lot to record some bands because I didn't put boundaries and,
Oh, yeah.
people weren't ready and all of the usual stuff.
I know
People
it
weren't
well.
ready to record. Yeah. So these days, I know more about that and I can set some boundaries, schedules, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back then, and also uh, because you want to have a portfolio,
Hmm.
you record every band, and you know that, right,
Yep.
Bobby? We want to record any band that comes in our way because we want to get the experience, the portfolio, and all that. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's not a good option to
Yeah.
to record any band that's in your way. You have to be like, and with the years, you are more selective about
Yeah.
that.
No, man, it's true. A lot of people think more is more a lot of times. Now, when you start out, like you were saying, it's
Yeah,
sometimes it is beneficial to take on a lot of projects just so you gain the experience, but the more experience you
exactly.
gain, you're better off spending time on bands that are worth your time, that take themselves at least serious enough to where they come in prepared, right? They don't have to be
Exactly.
trying
Yeah.
to tour the world or, signing to a major label, but as long as they're serious enough to take themselves seriously, to be prepared in the studio, and also
Exactly.
to be working with bands that you're the right fit for as a producer. So my question is this: do you mainly just do rock and metal like I do, or do you mess around with other genres of music as well?
These days, I mainly record. Well, I know I don't record these days. To be
Hmm.
honest, I mostly mix and master.
Yeah.
Um, these days, I would like choose more rock and metal bands. Back in the day when I was starting out, I chose some like
Yeah.
rappers from here locally, and
Oh,
some like
rap is common by you as well?
yeah, it's
Wow.
also a scene here, like
Yeah.
an underground scene. There are a lot of well, not with the pandemic, don't, but a lot of shows with like freestyle rap and
Yeah.
stuff like that, as with the rock and metal. And but yeah, there's a scene here definitely, and all of the major cities of Mexico. There's an underground scene, uh, but people and also people get discouraged a lot by others, right? That you're not gonna make an income out of music. You're not gonna create a career
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You should study, right? I don't know if that happens
All the
there
time.
also,
I
Bobby.
hate I
All the
hate when
time
I
that
hear that, man. I hate when people,
mm,
instill that on others because
yeah,
it's really not true. It just comes down to how creative you are with your income streams or
yeah,
how you
exactly.
yes, is it like how it is?
How you manage.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't think it's like it was 30 years ago, but in a way it's kind of better because you could be a band that has a Patreon and you could make a pretty decent income if you do it right,
Exactly.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
when people are negative about it, I'm not a fan of negativity, man. I'm a fan of positivity because there's so much to be grateful for in the day that we live in.
I agree with you, Bobby, 100%. I think I also try to stay away from negative people. I am very fond of positive people like yourself. I gravitate towards that kind of people,
Same here.
and that's my personality. Also, that's what I try to get out. Right. Also,
Awesome.
positivity,
Yeah.
and yeah, we should be grateful for a lot. Since all of these tools are available, since we can record music on our home studios, there's like a saturated market. You could say that,
Yeah.
but it has given us all equal the
Yes.
opportunity, right, to expose ourselves out there,
Yep.
and it's definitely a good thing. I think you're if you create good stuff, you're gonna stand out
Hmm.
in a saturated market, and also
Yep.
your personality as well. So
Yes.
I'm not like scared of a saturated market or stuff like that.
Me neither. No, I don't look at it like that at all. I
Yeah,
look at it as just there are more people to collaborate with. That's the way I look at it.
yeah, wow, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, awesome.
s-
That's a great mindset. right there.
So I have a question for you, right? Because there's something that I struggle with as far as the tools. Now, the flip side of the coin, we were mentioning earlier that it's, we're lucky that we have all these great tools at our disposal. And, even great free tools, which you talk a lot about on your channel, right? Now, something that I struggle with as an engineer is overwhelm with the amount of tools. Like my question to you is this, is that, you talk a lot about free plugins, free amp sims, all these excellent tools that people could use for absolutely free or cheap, right? And get great results with.
Yeah.
How do you, yourself avoid overwhelm when having all of these great, plugins at your disposal to choose from when you sit down to work on a project? Like, how do you know what to use? How do you not sit there over analyzing everything? What's your technique for that?
I think that's a thing that you develop over the years. Like when I was starting out in this, and I came like to this plugins world. Oh, there's a whole industry about this, and
Yeah.
I want this, I want that, I want every equalizer, every compressor, every reverb, all of the things that were like being released. I want that, and you saw an engineer using that, and you wanted everything, right? And I went through that on my journey. I collected a lot of things, Bobby, a lot of things, and most of them I just use it one time and just to. And actually, I was thinking about this. I think that the people that are searching for a lot of like all the new releases, new stuff, new tools, they also want to entertain themselves. I think they just want to like download that free stuff just to entertain themselves in the moment, right? Just to know what it sounds, what's going to make to the to that audio signal or something. But and I share a lot of free stuff on my channel, but that's what people gravitated towards my audience anyway. Like they wanted to know about free tools, but I always put this in my videos that you don't need this specifically this tool for the job.
Wow.
I'm just informing like maybe upcoming engineers that doesn't know about free stuff, and just to save them some money or something. But I came to the conclusion, and I started to set boundaries for myself as well. I only need 2 equalizers, maybe. I only need 2 compressors. I started to cleaning up my CPU, my hard disk. I started to delete plugins. I don't need this. I only use this one time. This is too heavy, or something for my hard drive. All of these sample libraries, and I started to narrow down that list of plugins and also of impulses and samples, right? I started to you have to commit to something, right? If you want to create. And that's basically what I do. I think that's a thing that you mature, you with over the years you go through. You don't want to spend a lot of a lot of time, and also another thing. Back then I was trying a lot of plugins, huge amounts of amp sims and cabinets and all that, and I like said to myself, okay, if I'm gonna try a new plugin, maybe I can create a piece of content. So so in that way I'm not losing my time only trying the plugin. If I lose the time trying the plugin, I'm gonna create a piece of content for YouTube, right? To maybe for a review that someone might want to see of that particular plugin. So that's also my technique, like to avoid just losing time. If I'm gonna lose the time to try a new plugin, maybe it's better if I create a piece of content, a video for YouTube, a blog entry or something. So that was my mindset shift regarding that.
Well, that's great, man, because the thing I like about that is you never know who's going to watch that, and then they might start using it, and that might be something they use for the rest of their life,
Exactly.
That's the whole thing. Like,
and I have asked my audience, like, what do you want to see on the channel? Are my videos something that you still enjoy? And the people is like, yeah, we want to know about the what's out there. Even if we are not gonna use,
Yeah.
we just want to know like the news,
Yeah. Yeah.
like what has been releasing, what's new on the market. And as you said, like sometimes I assume also that, oh, and I talked to some of my students, um, maybe I am sharing a lot of tools and plugins, and that's might be overwhelming to you. I That's what I assumed,
Hmm.
but they said, well, maybe there's a new people that discovered you
Yeah.
that doesn't know about
Hmm.
this technique that you used on this plugin or something like that. So yeah, I stopped assuming things,
Yeah.
and I basically heard also what the people that followed me wanted,
Hmm.
and I started to create things for them.
That's awesome, man. I know a lot of the plugins that I still use, and I've been doing this a long time. And I started with Pro Tools, like DAWs in 2006. A lot of the plugins I still use, I were from the first Waves bundle I bought in 2006.
The
So
first generation.
yeah, so people that come across your videos that are new, they might find an amp sim that you recommend, and they just got because as you know, if you have a few pieces that you use over and over and over again, or a few plugins that you use a lot, you get to know them inside and out
Exactly.
to the point where you don't even
Exactly.
think when you work. You're just in a continual state of flow. So another question for you is, I know because you're like me, we do a lot of metal, and in metal, there's a lot of talk about amp sims and drum software, right? Like Easy Drummer, Superior Drummer, all that stuff. What
Yeah.
is the one amp sim that you always go back to, and what's the one piece of drum software that you pretty much use on most of your recordings, if you do have favorites for both?
Yeah, yeah, I do have favorites. Bobby, Easy Drummer 2 is my go-to.
Same here.
Um, since I bought that that plugin, it changed my life.
Yeah.
It's one of those changing life. Like I mean, we say this, right, that gear doesn't matter, but that piece of gear, that piece of software,
Yeah.
really changed my life because I do a lot of instrumental stuff. I have a solo project and all that, and I don't have access to a drummer. And also for my YouTube videos, I don't have access to a drummer to record a drummer for a demo, a review or something. So Easy Drummer 2 is like my go-to all the time to create very quickly, like in 5 minutes. I can create a drum groove that it sounds natural, sounds like a drummer played it,
Yep.
because there are actually drummers that created those samples, those grooves, right?
Tempesta.
So they sound, yeah, yeah,
Dude,
amazing,
I still use those
amazing
Tempesta grooves
expansions.
to this day for pre-production. I still use them. 10
Yeah.
years I've been using it. It's
Oh my
great.
God! Right. Yeah, yeah. It's when that software came out, I remember watching a video how to like you building a like a song in 5 minutes with that, and yeah, it's like so intuitive,
Yeah.
and it's like really you are like communicating with the drummer.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
since I purchased that, I don't have another. I mean, there are free tools available, but no other plugin has that, where you can communicate, where you can just put a kick drum and a snare, and they
Oh
give
yeah.
you like options of groups and all
Yeah.
that. And actually, you have a very basic sometimes group for your song or for your riff, and they give you like things like, oh my God, that's better than
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
They give you options.
Yeah.
So Easy Drummer 2 is my go-to for drums. And
Oh, and really quick, by the way, anyone who's watching, we are not sponsored by TuneTrack. We actually use Easy Drummer.
No.
Just want to mention that.
yeah, yeah, we're not getting paid by
No.
TuneTrack. We just love the software they did. And yeah, Superior Drummer, I think it's better, but it's very, very heavy.
Yeah.
Very a lot of like 300 gigabytes or something.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need that. I
So
just,
detailed. Yeah.
So the Easy Drummer is like a light version, but it's great. And free amp sims, my go-to, and actually this year was released, Bobby. And I don't know if you know the developer Vadim Taranov.
No.
You haven't. It's a Russian developer, and he has been making amp sims for years, like 10 years maybe. And he has a Mesa Boogie Mark series amp sim.
Oh, nice.
And oh my god, since I tried that plugin, amp sim, unfortunately it's only available for Windows.
Oh, okay.
But since I tried that plugin, it's yeah, I was like, and it's free. So that's
Oh,
my
really?
go-to free amp sim. It's called Proto. It's Proto
Hmm.
4 in letters, like a number 4, but in letters, Proto 4.
Awesome.
And that's a free amp sim by Vadim Taranov. I'm sure some of the audience know that name because he's like a legend in the amp sim free amp sim world. And my paid go-to amp sim is the STL Tones Andy James.
Nice. Nice.
That's my go-to. It's yeah, I just plug my guitar straight into that, and yeah, amazing tones. I don't need to tweak a lot, like very, very simple. The same as the other one. And yeah, that's it, man.
Dude, it's funny, man. Like, I use a few different amp sims, but I
Yeah.
always end up, I sound like a broken record on this channel. I always end up back at the TSC X50, mainly because of its simplicity. You know, that's my thing.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I get overwhelmed a lot, you know, with options. So, but I'm curious about this it's a model of a Mark IV, the first one you
It's a
mentioned.
model. It's not a Mark IV. It's a Mark series.
Okay.
Like it
Okay.
models different circuits from different Mark series of Mesa Boogie.
Oh, that's cool.
It sounds huge. You don't need
Nice.
an overdrive before the amp or something. It
Oh, wow.
sounds huge.
That's
Like
awesome.
you use Mac, Bobby, or
I'm a Mac
right?
guy.
Mac guy.
I've
Oh,
just got,
unfortunately, that
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Um, I I think I think he should make for Mac also.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a very like difficult developer thing, but yeah, that's my go-to amp sim. Unfortunately, it's for only for Windows. For Mac and Windows, I use the Pectifier. It's called from a website called Nalix. Nalix? Yes, Nalix. I don't know if you have heard of that name.
No,
Also,
no.
and that name also resonates a lot of with the guitar players on the amp sim world. It's a free developer, Nalix, and the amp sim it's called Pectifier. So it's an emulation of a rectifier.
Oh, cool.
Also, it's great. That one is available for Mac as well. But my go-to is the other one,
Now,
the
but
Proto 4.
I'm curious to know with the two you've mentioned, can you load your own IRs in them?
They are the head only.
So
Need
you
a
have to use an IR loader with it.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I use a free. There are quite a few free IR loaders, and
Nice.
I just load any impulse response there on the collection. Actually, I love your impulse response,
Oh, thanks, man. Thank
and
you.
anyone that hasn't downloaded Bobby's impulse response, go ahead and get it. It's awesome.
Happy to hear that, dude. So, Amnar, question. You have a checklist where you kind of help people mix a song from start to finish using only free tools. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I basically I break down the system that I have developed over the years to mix a song from start to finish.
Awesome.
And I think it's very important to have a system. But I don't know if you agree with this.
Oh,
To have a system when you
1000%.
mix, right?
Yep.
Or when you record as well. To have a system like some steps. Of course, this is not science or something. This is art. But it is important that we develop a certain method, proven method or system of steps that we follow, right? And that these steps they are 8 steps actually that I break down in this checklist, and each of these steps have like mini steps inside, and that's basically what I do on every mix. It works on like every song. That's like my proven method that always works for me, and
Awesome.
I am using free plugins on this checklist
That's
as well.
cool.
So I basically point to the plugins website developers for in case they want to download them, and basically that's
And it's right in the
that's
PDF. So you list the plugins and you could click on it and it goes right to the developer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. And the
That's the
checklist is
PDF
free?
checklist. It's free, completely free. Yeah.
Awesome. I will leave a
It's on my
link.
website.
Yeah, for anyone who's watching, if you're interested, there will be a link right below in this video's description, and you could download Amner's mixing checklist for free, which is awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Fully free. You're welcome. Well, hopefully someone will find it useful on their. Yeah, they can just print it out and you can just basically go ahead and see there. It's like a checklist, right? Oh, I do this, and yeah,
I'm a huge
pretty
fan.
cool.
I'm a fan of checklists, man. I love simplicity. I love
Exactly.
following, just simple instructions. I'm a simple kind of
Yeah,
guy,
man.
I just want results now.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Yeah. Totally agree.
So one final question, man. I'm curious to know. We all have our favorite producers and engineers that inspire us. Who are some of your favorite metal producers? Like, who inspired you? Whose records did you hear that you wanted your productions to kind of sound like when you started out?
Well, I agree with you, Bobby, about Andy Sneap.
Yes.
I looked a lot on the forums back then, and I am like, I am very sorry that he doesn't have like a channel where you can follow him or something. I think he does. I think he doesn't have website or
He used to.
any like Facebook. Yeah, he used to right.
He has an Instagram.
in a forum. He has an Instagram.
A really good one.
I don't follow him on Instagram. I should check on that. But yeah, I liked a lot of his albums, and I was searching for back in the day for a lot of techniques that he used, and I love the simplicity also that he always taught. And what else? Chris Lord Algie also. Nice. I love his mixing techniques, and I love his approach. Right, he's very quick.
Yes,
like he's very quickly moving. Like he doesn't overthink anything. I love him. Like seeing mix on videos. He's mixing very quickly. He's EQing, and he doesn't. He's not afraid of a shelf at like 16 decibels or he's not afraid of that. And I think we shouldn't be afraid of. Sometimes if that track needs that, we should do that. I mean, I don't know if he said this like no one is going to die if you.
Yes, I'll always remember that quote.
Yeah, if you overcompress this or something, no one is going to die if you apply like a 15 dB boost or something. and also, I'm a huge fan of Children of Bodom. I don't know if you know
the band Children of Bodom. I don't know who produces those records.
Yeah, Bobby, he was a producer from Finland. The band Children of Bodom is a Finnish band.
Yeah.
Most of their albums were produced, or the first albums, which were the ones that made a bigger impact on the world, were produced by a Finnish producer called I can't remember the name. I wasn't following him, like learning from his techniques or something, because there were no channels to follow him or something. But that sound, I mean, I followed a lot of that sound after, and then when there was more information about it, I was following more of his techniques. And also another producer of Children of Bodom was Peter Tagren. I don't know.
Oh, I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, from Hypocrisy. I was more following guitar players, and when it comes to music production, I just try to learn from all of them, from all of the music producers, even producers that mix other genres or produce other genres as well.
That's the beauty of this, man. You never stop learning.
As a musician, you also, I think it's important to keep an open mind about music, right? Learn from a lot of genres. We go through a period, I think, that we are very close-minded. Yeah. And I went through that on my teenage years. I was only listening to that, and I'm not gonna listen to anything else. But then you mature, and then I think you learn so much from other genres. Yeah,
definitely, man. It makes you a more colorful producer, artist, musician, everything. Your vocabulary is it's just more vast. It's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan of all of that, Bobby. I don't have a closed mind, I think. these
here.
days. I mean,
Same here.
And as you get older, I think we get like our mind hopefully more open.
Yes.
Instead of closing it.
Yep. We're always learning.
Always learning, and there's always room to improve.
Yeah.
Right. There's always room to improve and to learn from awesome mentors like you, and that's basically a way of living.
I agree, man. Well, Amner, this has been awesome, dude. Thank you so much for being on the channel. And for anyone who's watching, subscribe to Amner's channel. I will leave a link below to his YouTube channel in the video's description, as well as his free checklist PDF, where he shows you how to mix a song from start to finish using free tools. And he even links again to the free tools right within the PDF. Again, there's a link below in this video's description, and download it for free. So, dude, thanks again for being on the channel. It's been a blast, and we got to do something again, definitely in the near future.
We can definitely give something back
Yes.
to the people, something that the years of experience we have given us, right? And we're happy to do that. And thank you very much, Bobby, for having me here on the channel.
Definitely,
It was a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, man. Thank you. Later.
Have a good one.